All right, so we've taken care of this pixel usage. Now our next one is margin bottom, 22 pixels. So it makes sense to convert this over to a relative unit because we want this number to adjust the space between this heading and this text right here as the font size increases or decreases. But do we use an EM measurement or an REM measurement? Well, the way we answer that question is figuring out whether this margin size is connected with the size of this text or if it's connected with the base size of the browser. In this case, I think the margin is connected with the size of this text. So using an EM would make sense. However, the base size that we're measuring against is different now because we're using 44 instead of the default 16 of the browser. So here's one way we can do this. We can replace this out with px to em, and we can pass 22 and then 44 to change the base size. And if we save this and jump back to the browser and refreshed, nothing should have changed. Now if we wanted to, we could also just set an EM here without calculating it from pixels. When it comes to things like margin, it's easier to think relatively. When we're thinking about the original size of a font, that's much easier to think about in terms of pixels. But when it comes to margin, we can easily say that we want the margin to be half the size of the font. That would just be 0.5 EMs. So let's keep this simple and just change this to 0.5 EM. If we refresh the browser, it should look identical.